Hey there, everyone. It's your girls from Obscure Orations, me, Tay, her, Dana, and with us, as I said before, our special guest, Miss Loleta. And she's going to be talking about her awesome resin art. Oh my God, with the English. Her crafts. I'm going to go with crafts because apparently that's going to be easier for my mouth to say. It's the only language I know, and yet it's the only language that I'm so successfully butchering every single day of my life.
So tell us what you do.
So I really want to walk out in the world and be the bridge and help people come from darkness to light. But I'm not super people-y. I don't want to work in a space where I have to physically do that myself all the time.
Right.
So I got into the study of orgonite, and it's such a passive healing tool. So I can make it, I can imbibe it with whatever frequency. I can then, someone can purchase that and put it in their home, and it will balance the energy inside their home. And it will also, like, depending on what crystals are in it and like how I've composed it, will like carry a different frequency for each person. So like, let's see. So like this one is a 432.
Okay.
So 432 megahertz frequency is like deep DNA healing and harmony. So like when we struggle to balance the energy within our home, this piece can just sit on a table and help to do that.
Ooh.
So the study of orgonite started in the 30s with a German immigrant to the United States, and he was doing like some really wild things. He was building boxes to cure cancer. He made this thing called a cloud buster. So he was able to use orgonite energy to change modified weather programs. So during the Dust Bowl, he could show up with his truck and make it rain within 2 days. And that was around the time that he got like shut down. They pulled all his patents. He went to prison. So the technology, I guess, was buried for a long time. And it's just really seeing a resurgence now. And so the science part of it, I guess, is the epoxy is like an organic material. So organic materials draw in energy, good and bad. And the metal that's inside, like the bottom layer, I don't know if you can see that, but the whole bottom layer is a metal shavings. So that metal repels energy. So once you put quartz and other crystals in there, that transmutes the energy to positive. So when it throws it back out, it's all positive energy. And so like it's a very passive healing tool. It's not like something that you have to like work at. It's really like, but they do bring about change in your life. So if you're not ready for change, do not recommend.
I'm always ready for change.
Me too.
If there's a lot of people out there that are like, change, I'm not ready for that. And then you're like, okay, I'm not going to give you this yet.
Yeah.
You let me know when you're ready, because you're not going to be happy if I give this to you. And you're like, yeah, there's been a lot of change in my life. You're like, oh, hold on, I just need to take this back. I said, sorry, the birthday gift didn't turn out good.
Sometimes gentle, sometimes not gentle.
Yes.
So, do you have like, I followed your page on Facebook under my personal name. So when you sell your pieces, obviously, how do you do that? Is it just within Canada, or do you do continental US?
I ship anywhere within the country, so within Canada. And I found the if I ship with the post, I can do it fairly cheap. Most of my pieces will fit in the $25 sending box.
Nice.
So they're mostly priced on Facebook for that built-in shipping if I need
Oh,
to.
okay. Perfect.
Okay, so if I saw a piece and it said, I'm not sure how much you sell, it would say like $75, that includes shipping.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
perfect.
good to know. So can you show us some more of your pieces?
I sure can. Do you want to see my favorite piece?
Yes.
This one is not for sale. My daughter, we were in a park together and we found a raven head.
Oh.
And there was a lot of parents there. And so I was like, did not feel like I should pick it up and just put it in my pocket and take it home with me. The next day, my daughter like went back to the park with my partner and got the raven head and brought it home to me. So I like cleaned it all up and I put it in organite. And the day that I finished it, she sobbing, crying, was like, it's so bad because you're gonna sell it now. And that was a gift. And like I go empty my wallet, I'll buy it. And I'm like, no, it's fine, we'll keep it for us. So this is it. And it's really neat because if you look at it from that point, it looks like there's two.
I love that.
But it's just one piece.
Wow.
That turned out gorgeously.
Yeah, so and it is full of like it has blue kyanite, it has quartz, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 metal layers and a layer of shungite. This really dark layer here is shungite, which is like a drawer, like will draw in EMF, etc. So all my pieces do have a layer of shungite in them on some level. And the copper coils like help to like bring it out. So
that is gorgeous,
right? And people really want that one. It's a
I can see why.
Yeah.
You're like, my daughter would kill me. It's not worth it.
You
But then
need all
they
that
have,
positive energy.
This one is for sale, and it's like I do a lot of stuff with trees in it
I was just going to say, reminds me instantly of the tree of life.
because the energy of them is so wild sometimes. I feel like it's good to ground into the metal. So this actually runs down through this quartz in the middle and then runs into the metal layer.
I love that.
So it's like really, it feels like floating, but it also feels like super grounding, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It does, because it's always, whenever I do like meditations, it's always, for me specifically, I'm drawn towards nature and trees because it's, you can visualize yourself pushing down into the earth and you can have such deep grounding with it. But at the same time, trees are the things that go, some of the tallest things in the world that can reach up to try and grab towards something.
Totally.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm working with the most organite artists are like pyramid people. That's like the preferred thing. What I found as an empath, as like someone that can feel energy, is the pyramids like kind of pointy and very direct. So I've been really playing around a lot with like balls.
Oh, I love that.
Which has like this amazing like wave like energy. And it's really gentle. So, and this one has, let's see if I can find it. Oh, maybe it's in this one. Oh, this one has, can you see that tooth in there?
Oh,
I don't know if that's possible, but that's a deer tooth. So deer is like, in my culture, deer are a reminder for gentle patience. So I've taken like the sciencey part of organite, and I've also brought two-eyed seeing into it. So I use my own indigenous medicines. There's medicines in all of them. There's like a lot of practice of that kind of thing within each one, like elements that work for how I culturally view the world, as well as like what the science of it is.
Mm-hmm.
So like this piece I made, in my mind, it was going to go somewhere like a yoga studio. It's a charging plate. So you can like put a drink on
that's
it or
perfect.
set your phone on it at nighttime.
Yes.
It has like many layers, but it has like cedar, and it has sweetgrass and tobacco in it.
Oh.
And sage. So it's like has all the organite elements, but it also has like the indigenous sacred medicines. There's like a lot of snakeskin in them because that's a catalyst of change and rebirth.
Okay, so I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter, she's 26. She is an empath, much like yourself. She picks up on energies, and it's unfortunate because she works at the local jail as a counselor.
Oh, that's rough.
It's very rough. Yeah, she says that sometimes her days are so mentally draining,
right,
that when she gets home from work at night, it's really hard for her to pick up. So what would you recommend? Like, if I was going to buy her one of those, what would you recommend?
Really any shape, but because she's already like being bombarded with people's emotions, thoughts, etc., maybe like an egg.
Oh.
Because that's like a good place to store it. You can like use them as a place to like touch and put those thoughts in so they can come back out as positive thought.
Mm-hmm. So, do your pieces come with like an explanation or like a little blurb of what they are and what they might do?
Yep, I always include the little card with the stones that are in there, like what gems are in there, what their properties are, and like what it was imbibed with, like energetically to start. And like when I first started making them, I was like really careful to like really be in a good mood when I was working on it, and like always make sure like I was only putting things in. But then as I've come to understand the science of it, it's going to take everything you put in there and it's going to put it out as positive, right? So some of the pieces that I've made where I've been like dragging my feet have come out like energetically the most powerful pieces. So it's like a really strange thought process for me to like I was a chef before, and I always spent so much time like only putting good into food, right?
Okay.
But there's no transmuter in there. So I was like, it just really opened the door. Like you can put anything in there and it will come out like just so much cooler and so like light compared to what it was when you were starting. And I do like custom things for people. Like I have a couple custom orders right now where they've given me things they want to put in there. I did one for a gentleman his wife is in a nursing home now, and he had like all the smashed pennies that you get when you're traveling.
Okay, yeah.
Had like them from everywhere they went, and like her wedding ring, and he wanted them like all put in there. And I was so nervous about it because once it's in epoxy, like if it's wrong, it's done. Like you can't get it back out. But it turned out so beautifully. And it was such an honor to be given that task to
Yeah.
create that for them. And I was really happy with it. And I'm working on another piece for a friend of mine right now. And I guess like the whole thing like that really like is amazing is you can give the like there's like a thing called a tower buster,
Okay.
which is like I can show you one if you just give me 1 sec. They're right here.
Absolutely.
So say I'm like pouring and I have like leftover epoxy. I make these. They're like a tower buster, so they're just organized. It's not pretty, but it
Oh,
has
okay.
all the components. And then you throw that next to a cell phone tower.
Oh,
And for like 20 kilometers around that cell phone tower, it changes the EMF to positive output. It doesn't
okay.
affect
We
the
need a bunch of
tower.
those.
Yeah, like, and I'm like, so that's kind of what I started into it. Like, I was like, we're gonna just like fix everything around us.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, discovering that you can like do art with them also and like make them pretty and they can be in people's houses and then they're like balancing the energy all around them. That's like such a beautiful gift.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it makes it more likely that people will be receptive to the idea of it because there's so many people who I always laugh at because, like, in my case, if I tell people that I work with energy or that I do stuff with energy or that I even believe in it, they always come back with going, "Really? You don't strike me as that kind of person." I'm like,
Right.
"Yes, I know, because all you picture is some hippie out in the forest doing it. I get it."
Yeah.
But it's like, but when you explain it to them and the fact that there's science behind all of it. Like my
Right.
best example that I give everyone when I'm like, okay, you don't believe in energy. And they're like, well, no, that's stupid. I'm like, okay, so keep this in mind. I'm like, so you go to a party or something, or you're at some sort of gathering, the person that you hate most comes into the room. How do you feel? I'm like, oh, and I was like, yeah, that face right there. But why do you feel that way? They're like, oh, just they drain me or they make me angry. It's I'm like, okay,
Right.
okay. Now,
So they
your
do understand.
favorite, and it's like, so your favorite person walks into the room. What do you do then? They're like, oh, yeah, I light up. I'm excited. I'm like, that is energy. You have different energy coming from each person, and it
Right.
affects you differently. Like, and that is what energy is in the world. When you go down to the most basic version of it, that everyone, and I don't know one person on this planet who doesn't understand that, oh, yeah, your arch nemesis comes walking through the door and you're
Right.
like you feel that just either hatred or loathing or that oh my god she's here why
There's
versus
Well, I will definitely want to talk to you afterwards because I want to get one for my daughter. Like,
oh god, yeah, that would be perfect for
no, we
Sam.
find the perfect one for her.
yeah, she honestly she's such a good-hearted person too. Her and her boyfriend they just bought a house just August of last year.
Yeah.
He's a nurse over in the US because we're really close to the US border.
Okay.
And she's a counselor, but she spends a lot of her time at the jail counseling inmates who are ready for halfway house release,
Yeah.
parole, that sort of stuff. But she also counsels inmates that are in there for things like premeditated murder, which
Yeah.
as a parent scares the hell out of me.
That's so tough. I can't imagine.
and she creates classes for resume building and life skills for is it 15 to 21-year-olds that don't have their high school education.
Oh right.
Very
So
cool.
she really sucks in the bad energy.
We're just going to
And
put her in a giant pyramid or the egg.
We
We're
need,
just going to have her roll around.
what she needs is an elder told me, because I was really struggling with this, and he told me, you're building a wall. Like, you're building a wall so that can't get in, but that also means that good can't get in.
can't get out.
Yep.
He said, the peoples that stand with you, he said they're there for that. And all you need to do is ask that comes in and is filtered through them back out as love. And that was like life changing for me.
Right.
And it's like a hard concept to wrap your brain around, and you have to like fully be there in order for it to work. But like it does super work well. And I wear Organite pendant all the time. And I have
oh, yes,
Organite pop socket right on my telephone, so that I don't have to because where do we keep those things?
Close to you. Yeah.
Or like next to our beds. Like
Yeah.
that's scary when you think about like how much energy is coming off that. And so if we can transmute that into something like positive, and then like that kind of is like putting a shield up.
Yeah.
That's what I love about that. So I have a question specifically. So you said that you're Indigenous. And so is that played like for a lot of people who don't have the background with that, is it something that played a really big part in your understanding of energy work and how medicines are?
Definitely.
Yeah.
My mother was adopted as a child.
Oh, okay.
Into a German family. So I was like doing sweats and like, why does this feel like home? And I understood things so much better from my elders than from like the other side. And I was like, I don't understand why this all just makes so much sense. And then when her parents died, she sought out her birth mother, and we discovered like, oh. That's why this makes so much sense. So I continue, like I go to sweats and I do, work that way, because that's such a powerful tool for me. And being able to talk to someone about what's going on, who like isn't like, that's weird, who's like, oh yeah, spirits are talking to us all the time, like this is just life. And so like when I say two-eyed seeing, that's a concept from a Mi'kmaq elder. And he has been like since like the early 2000s trying to integrate Indigenous knowledge into scientific knowledge. Like if we can look at it our science eye, why can't we look at it through like our energetic eye?
Right.
So like and is proving like old stories that the Mi'kmaq people told, and science, like what they've come up with, carbon dating, etc., and how like, oh, all of a sudden they're aligning. And it's because we're looking at it from two perspectives, right? So like that's why I always include like medicines, and I play frequencies when the epoxy setting, so that like is really getting in there.
Yes.
Like I'm like, we just pull out all the stops. People can take these home, and it can just sit there and help them to create change in their life, and to find the place that they need to be, and like discover their dreamy self, And so then I have to go there and do that.
Oh God, Dana, the look on your face.
It's just because it's something I've seen, and I was just wondering,
I feel like you're going to stir the pot right now. That's all I can feel right now. It's like you open the can of worms.
No pot stirring today.
Sure.
Have you, or would you consider making something like that with human ashes?
Not me. I know people are doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm really sensitive, and like I already have the people's people all talking to me.
Mhm.
Like I work in a butcher shop, and normally I would be in the back of house cutting meat, but they have me for some reason out front in the storefront. And like every customer that comes through the door, they come through like 5 or 6 people's people with them, and they are talking. Everything's an emergency. And I'm like, on emergency, we don't need to talk right now. I'm trying to do my job. So like the thought of working with ashes of someone, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I think if you can do that, like that's really cool. But me personally, I cannot. Although I do work with animal bones.
Right.
Because I do ceremony with them first. I honor them in a good way, and then the attributes of that animal is then put into that piece and can do the work of that animal as a god.
Right. It was a question that a member of my family had asked me last night when I was talking about you being on our podcast today, and they asked me, they're like, "Oh, ask her." So I had to ask.
I've had this question more than once, and I've really thought about it. And I think, man, that would be so cool, but that definitely would not be cool for me.
I mean, honestly,
cool to an extent.
Honestly, kudos to you for not doing it. My father passed away in 2019.
Yep.
And I still have his ashes. Like, his urn is sitting on my bedroom dresser. My brother found a glass blower in Winnipeg that will take human ashes and blow them into glass into like a memorial piece. And he's like, "Do you want to do that?" And I'm like, "That sounds great. We'll get one for Mom. You can have one. I'll have one. And we'll get one for Sam and Brendan, my 2 kids." I have yet to be able to put my dad's ashes in an envelope to send them to that man.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I'm like, do I really want my father traveling via Canada Post?
Right. That'd be the hard part. It's like, oh, well, now he's traveling all through Canada outside of the envelope because we dropped it.
Well, it's just, I don't know. It's just something in my mind, like something in my brain is like, that is not right. That is
disrespectful.
Yes, thank you. Disrespectful.
I'm not sure, like, because a part of me as an artist, I'm like, man, that's such an honor to be like put into a piece of art, right? But then like my 2-eyed seeing self, the Indigenous person in me is like, whoa, we don't be doing that stuff. Like, and then the sensitive person in me is like, that's a lot. That would be a lot. So that person that could put that in glass, maybe they can't feel the people.
And that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
And maybe that's not a lot for them, but then at the same time, it's still happening for them, whether they feel it or not.
Like when I told my daughter about it, she was really gung-ho. She's like, "That's a great idea. My dad loved to fish." She's like, "We could put Papa in a fish." And then she's like, "But what if I broke it?" She goes, "Mom, you know I'm clumsy. What if I broke it?" She goes, "And then I have to live with the guilt of breaking Papa's ashes. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is turning into a really bad idea.
Suddenly all of the bad ideas come out and you're like, oh no, we didn't. You know what? Like, to me, I love the ideas that people are coming up with for the ashes, but then at the same time, there's voices inside of me that say no, just because it would be like, what if they feel trapped inside of the resin? Because you're taking it and you're literally trapping some of their spirit inside of it, and there's no way out for them. So then it's that part of me that goes, it's like, how would I feel about that? Oh, no, this is too tight in here, too tight. I want out.
I feel
that. Yeah,
the instant panic going, oh, I'm claustrophobic and I don't know why. Let me out.
I mean, Taylor, you know my kids. This is my daughter. Well, if you send some of Papa's ashes away, how do you know what part you're sending away? Is it like his toe? Is it his ear? And I'm like, Samantha, I'm not talking to you anymore. Because that's how she is. And the thing is, she's so serious. Like, the look on her face, she's like, how do you know what part of Papa you're sending away? And I'm like, I can't do this. Like, Dad, you're staying on the dresser.
Yeah, but or you're like, you know what? You're just staying in the box, and then when I die, we'll be in boxes together. Sam will watch us and go,
well, when Mom dies, she'll join Dad in the box, and then the box will go into my older brother passed away, and they'll be buried with him.
Oh, okay.
So taken care of.
Then you don't have to worry the nose and everything.
Yeah, no envelopes traveling via Canada Post with my dad in them. But yeah, I think one of those would. I think Sam would really like one of those.
Oh yeah, that would be. I think
they're very cool. I'm grateful that I've gotten to create them, and then I have like many pieces around my house. And I do like small craft fairs and stuff. And it's always really interesting to me to set up a table at a craft fair, because like some people are like, oh, what is that? And then there's other people that will make like a big circle to like not even come near the table, and they don't even know why. They're so avoidant, and it's like really interesting.
That is my favorite thing to watch. It's like doing a when you're doing a smudge, and then you watch people as the other ones walk away, and you're like, ha! Told you. And it's like, oh, I don't know why I want to avoid your house. Yeah,
you do.
Yeah, that's right. You're like, the ancestors will come in.
I just had that conversation the other day. Somebody's like, oh, he was so uncomfortable at your house. I said, my house is protected.
And that's exactly it.
Manifests, like.
It's exactly what I do with everything. Like, I can remember Dana came over during, I think it was just this past summer, when you picked up Brooke for me, and you guys came over for the astrology readings.
Yeah.
And I had told her we were doing the podcast, and I was like, oh yeah, they're on their way over. We'll see them soon, kind of thing. And I had made a comment about, I'm like, I put eggshells across my threshold to help remove any negative energy and repel it at the same time. And the look on her face going, what? Like, yeah, like it removes it, repels it, and then if you wish ill upon me, you will feel ill yourself. And she's like, what if they came into the house? I think I had just gone to the bathroom. My mom was laughing when I came out. She's like, yeah, the both of them stopping or looking down at the front step. I'm like, oh my God, there are. It's like, were you guys afraid to step across it? Like, what? You don't wish me bad things.
When I started doing protections on the house, when I started like laying those lines across my property, and like the realization of how many of my friends no longer came to my house was like, whew. So I've done this for other people, and I'm like, so just a disclaimer.
Your circle's gonna get smaller.
But the ones that will come will be like your real friends.
Right.
So like it's pretty interesting how it all plays out.
One point that we didn't actually establish is, where in this beautiful country of ours do you work from?
Oh, I'm in New Brunswick, and I'm like pretty close to Sussex, but I live way out in the country. Um, and so like I have a bunch of pieces in a store here in town. Another artist who's like a metalwork artist, and he has like a whole wall of my stuff in town. Um, I like work with the Sussex Crystal Shop, do like a lot of most of my buying through them, and they like are super amazing humans who like gave me a box of copper the other day, and like well, the Sussex Engine here in town like gives me metal shavings. So I've like really been super lucky like to
Right.
like have a good small community to work in.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then like so I was doing all my pieces. I'll turn the camera around. This is my sunroom. So I was doing all my pieces in here, which is a lot. Epoxy's a lot. It's very fumy. Like I have kids. It's a lot. So I've been kind of at a halt for a little bit, and I was gonna do it out in the wood shop, but my partner is like building a tiny home right now, and he's like, then that's like wood dust and craziness. So I'm like, I don't know, like kind of trying to figure out where I'm gonna work from here. And then yesterday we decided we have an herb house where we're dry herbs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna insulate that, which is just one more wall, and then hook the stove back up, and I'll have like a whole studio to work in. So I'm like pretty pumped about that.
That's
Nice.
perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So we will include all your socials with the post. Do you have like what do they call them, Taylor? Etsy store or anything?
Oh,
I don't. I
Just
tried
your
to
Facebook page.
do that, and it's like a lot.
Right.
They want a lot, and I can't figure out all the things they wanted to sign up for. I'm really not very technology person, and I'm working to build a website, but I don't have one yet.
Okay, that's fine. We will
we'll
just
promote all the other stuff.
Yeah,
we totally
we'll promote
understand the
everything else,
net,
and
not technology.
and definitely tag you when we post on TikTok so that your followers can see it too.
Cool. That's
We
so exciting.
will get you out there.
Yeah.
Do our best to get you out there.
I really enjoyed talking to you ladies.
Oh,
It was awesome to have you on.
I will send you an email.
I'm saying 100% we're both going to be ordering.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just picture ordering like 5 million of the pucks.
Yeah, I want to get out there and let people know that there's people doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like cool stuff, and I'm glad that you guys have this little show. I've been watching you on the YouTube, and it's like pretty cool.
Oh, thank you. Sometimes our topics of conversation just go right off the rails, and
100%.
That like that honest realness is what I really liked about it. I was like, okay, I think I can do that show with those ladies. It's like not very good at fitting inside a box, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was just saying it's one of those like, okay, well, if the box looks like, and we just keep going in different directions, we're like, oh, there's an open spot. Oh, there's an open spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Taylor and I are both very outspoken beings, so it sometimes has gotten us in trouble. But as Taylor likes to say, I am a champion pot stirrer.
She is double.
I can cause trouble with just one sentence.
You can. It's a gift.
It's like that.
But we thank you for coming on the show, and we are definitely going to help you get the word out, and hopefully drum you up some business.
I love that.
Outside of just the two of us.
Yeah, outside of us. We'll put
I
in a
love
bulk
that.
order,
Okay.
Taylor.
This has been really fun. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being on.
Mhm. Yes.
Have a wonderful day.
You
Ciao.
too. Bye.
Bye.